Hello. Let's see if we can start with the bhajan. Somebody wants to sing?
विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी, विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी। हृदयेश्वर हरि हृदय बिहारी, हृदयेश्वर हरि हृदय बिहारी। मोर मुकुट पीतांबर धारी, विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी। जन्म जन्म की लगन है, साक्षी तारों भरा गगन है। गिन गिन श्वास आस कहती है, आएंगे श्री कृष्ण मुरारी। विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी। सतत प्रतीक्षा अपलक लोचन, हे भव बाधा विपत्ति विमोचन। स्वागत का अधिकार दीजिए, शरणागत है नयन पुजारी। विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी। और कहूँ क्या अंतर्यामी, तन मन धन प्राणों के स्वामी। करुणा कर आकर के कहिए, स्वीकारी विनती स्वीकारी। विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी, विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी। हृदयेश्वर हरि हृदय बिहारी, हृदयेश्वर हरि हृदय बिहारी। मोर मुकुट पीतांबर धारी, विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी। विनती सुनिए नाथ हमारी।
Beautiful. Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Mhm. Mhm. So the frame to the right. This one. This one. This one is, I don't know, I don't remember how I came across it. Maybe one of you do, but I just came across it randomly on the internet and it touched me very deeply. Later I found out it's called grace. It touched me because here is an old man with a bowl of soup and a little bit of bread, and his Bible is with him, or whatever is with him, and he's grateful. He's grateful. Just with that much is enough for us to be grateful in life, head bowed down. So I felt it's a beautiful reminder. In fact, I keep this on my computer as well to remind me to be grateful. Then later I found out that it's called grace, the photo, no? And apparently it is the state photo of Minnesota. I didn't even know there's such a thing like a state photo, but apparently they have. In America there are things like the state photo. So Minnesota, or one of the states, I'm not sure, but really it is a message. I don't know who it is. It's a famous photograph, but the message in it is very beautiful, to remind us to be grateful to God, because all of us have our daily bread. There is nobody on this Zoom call who God has not provided their daily bread for, and that is more than enough for this instrument of God, this instrument which we are trying to make into a temple of God. So it's a beautiful message. Just in looking at that visual, it's a beautiful reminder that the mind will always grasp for bigger things, more and more and more and more. But here's an old sweet man who's just grateful because he has enough. And very Spartan, it looks like a very Spartan environment, very basic thing. So I love the message. So I shared with the Sangha, and then gifted me this very kindly and sweetly. Okay, Beatrice wants to come. You can come, my dear. It's still audible if I speak like this, or should I speak up a bit? It's okay. This is a good mic, Nitin. Thank you.
Namaste, Father. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Father, I feel that I have too much ego.
Well, everyone has too much ego.
I mean the spiritual ego or something. I feel that I don't want to come to satsang anymore. I don't have anymore the happiness to surrender or something. Or I feel like everything that I love so much God that now I feel like I don't want anything. I don't believe anymore in anything. I feel like
Why do you have those posters in your wall? Just art pieces, or
What?
are they just art? Because you say, I don't believe in anything.
Because
And then
I,
you're,
because why I have it? Because it's myself also, and
because they are yourself.
yes, it's my true nature.
It's a
O
true nature.
sea, Krishna emoji, and you also. And when I see Papaji or I see Ananda Majima, it's like it's my family and
Yeah.
it's myself because I'm
Yeah.
not the mind.
Yeah.
But and now I have this ego. O sea, I mean, I I
So let's pause. Let's pause for a moment, if you can. Mm, you started the conversation by saying that I don't believe in anything now, and I'm taking that to imply you mean that you don't have faith in anything now, and that's why you feel that. I'm happy, in fact, that you came up, because if you really didn't have faith in me or any of the beautiful ones you have on the wall, then you would not even have come up. So, from the evidence, except what your mind is saying, it looks like you have not lost your faith. It doesn't look like you've lost your faith.
okay,
So,
it's like spirituality or something has become like a very difficult, or that I have to do many things and I see that it's not true, and something is like taking this happiness to God, or away, like I don't want to meditate anymore. I don't believe anymore in enlightenment, or I don't know what it is, but it's like I don't want to touch anymore anything about spirituality, enlightenment, because this is like taking my love, this is simple happiness away or something. Like, I don't know how to describe, but it's like I feel that also I'm healing things that I have fear to heal. Uh, you can say it's like a salad or something.
okay, okay, okay. What are you expecting me to ask? I'm sure everyone expects me to ask one question, no, first.
I don't know, Father. I want just to be clear. O sea, I mean,
Yeah.
I I don't feel
Just,
anymore to
just,
be in satsang. I'm here because
just
God.
predict, just predict what you feel I'm going to ask.
You're going to say to me, leave it.
Don't believe it. But also, I could ask, who is this I? Mostly, so I don't do that often, because most of the Sangha children, they just feel like no point bringing this up to father, because father will just say, who is asking, who is this I? So now I find some different ways to get there to the same point. You see,
Yes,
but
I see
but
the.
but is it possible that the I says, I don't want this, I want the happiness, spirituality has become too difficult, I just wanted peace, all of these lamentations, the one that has all of these complaints, is it possible at all that that one is not really you, not really your reality?
Yes, it's possible. That is totally the ego, the image, totally.
Yeah, yeah,
And I feel this is also an attack because I see more deeply that I am not this one. It's like now it's like the space that the ego was taking is more and more, bueno, the ego have no much space, so,
Okay,
and
so
it's going to really,
the I that witnesses all of this, which one is that?
it's not the ego.
Okay, so that is not the ego.
Yeah,
Is it
but this I
clear?
tell you from the mind.
Okay, just check then. Don't tell me from the mind. Just check. Who is witnessing all of these thoughts and all these perceptions in front of you? Who is that?
Yes, it's I'm aware of all these things, and also I feel that I have questions like I don't know what it means to give it to the mind, and I feel like I've been giving to the mind all the teachings,
Slowly. Let's
and
go really slowly because I'm quite slow, as you know. So you say, I am aware. So the one that is aware is making the rest of the report.
no.
What is the one that is aware? What is that one's report?
I don't know, Father. Life.
Okay. Okay. So let's not completely let go of the question. Let's try to really find the one who has the other report. Let's try to really find, like we found so fast. You say, I am aware. And this I am aware is the same as saying I am awareness, isn't it? Or do you mean it
Yes,
differently? Do you mean it that there is some awareness somewhere and I have a part of it which makes me also aware? Or are you already concluding and confirming intuitively that you are awareness itself?
I feel like I I don't bueno, I feel like I am the body, and I right now I am the ego, and also I am aware at the same time.
Okay. So there are two
But
possibilities.
the identity is with the mind.
There are two possibilities. One is that you are awareness, and the second is that you're the ego. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how to pick the right one?
How to pick the right one?
Because you don't want to waste your whole life picking the wrong one, isn't it?
No, Father, I can't.
Suppose you spend this entire lifetime picking the option that you are a caterpillar, where actually you were the giraffe. You see? So you don't want to spend the whole life living a caterpillar life and actually you're a giraffe. So how to pick? One is that you are awareness, and the second is that you are the ego. Ego means I am a limited entity, I'm a bundle of flesh and these thoughts. So the body mind instrument, as it is called, is the ego. To take yourself to be that is the egoic identity. Now, how do we pick which is the right one? Because this choice is very important.
Father, que I don't want to be this ego because it's not loving. It's not. I
What?
don't how to pick the right one.
How to pick
Uh,
the right
not picking the
one?
first one. Okay, I can give you
Okay, okay.
clever answer like the
Let me give you
I
another option.
okay.
If you don't pick anything at all,
Yes.
neither this nor that, then who are you?
nothing.
Okay, let's
The
look at the answer so quickly from the mind. Don't pick awareness. Don't pick body-mind identity. Now just check, who are you? Just naturally, who are you? Remember not to pick.
And I don't have also to pick, I am nothing.
Hmm? Just naturally, who are you? Hmm? Don't have to pick. Who is here now? Hmm? So it's obvious, isn't it, to all of us, that the ego identity actually doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And whether the mind likes it or not, we cannot be anything truly other than the self, which is the pure witnessing, the pure awareness. And in this insight, all the false identity, or almost all the false identity that we picked up, it vanishes. So suppose that this satsang hall was a magical room, like Narnia or something. Some of you read the Chronicles of Narnia. So you enter the cupboard and you enter a magical realm. But what's magical about this is that, suppose you entered the door, through the door, and that which you took yourself to be, the body mind, it just vanished. Just vanished. You entered, just vanished.
Yes.
You see? So this is the power of inquiry. This is the power of insight. You come to it and you just vanish. And the story would be very beautiful if it just stopped there for all of us. And all of us, or at least most of us, have had this insight, isn't it? We've had this insight. We've had even the, I'm going to call it an experience for a moment, even the experiencing that I am not, only the self is. We've come to that. And I dare say that for most of us, we've come to that many times. So then what happens? If it is a vanishing room, if it is a room, you come, you enter, and you vanish, then how is it that we seem to reinvent ourselves and vanish again, and reinvent ourselves and vanish again, and reinvent, and it seems like a never-ending cycle almost. And maybe, to use the beautiful metaphor of the drop falling into the water, reducing every time, but bouncing back up, is a beautiful one to take. Now, the thing is that is the ideal situation, where the drop is falling into the water, it bounces at the surface level. Most of you have seen this video. No? How does a single drop, how does it fall into the water? It falls, then it bounces back, but it's smaller than the original drop. Then it falls again, then it bounces back, but it's smaller than before, then it's smaller than before. So it's like that, you see, but that is the ideal situation. Now, the thing is that if this drop that bounces back takes on the identity of the water itself, that is called the spiritual ego. So then the trajectory which is beautiful like this, beautiful, smaller, 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 closer, 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 and it is infinite. It never fully dissolves. It just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller forever. Like that. Now, in most cases, it is beautiful like that. If it was to remain like that. But when it takes a dip in the water, it recognizes that I am this water itself, and when it bounces back, taking itself to be the body mind again, but with the idea that I am special now because I am water, then it becomes like a Superman drop. Then it starts to fly. Then it thinks it's special. It takes on all this importance, and how do I start teaching, and where are my followers, and all of this is just one variant of that. But the drop starts to believe that because it had the experience of being water, it is now special compared to other drops. It is now somebody compared to other drops. Now this drop itself, the spiritually proud drop, will say, I am water, I don't need anything. But I am just the water. Is it not true? And every master will say, yes, yes, it is true. But, you see, like Guruji said, the fragrance right now is of a drop and not of the water. So, how to prevent this drop? How to make sure that the trajectory of this drop is getting smaller and smaller and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, smaller and smaller. The ego is depleting more and more and more and more.
But Father, smaller and smaller is good, or is the spiritual ego?
Yeah, you're right, actually, that the tracking of I am getting smaller, I am doing better, I am progressing, all of that can also be spiritual ego. You're absolutely right. But we are looking at not the tracking or the checker guy, we are looking at inauthenticity. How do I fully merge into the reality of the self, into the presence of God? So the actual project remains the same, isn't it? So the drop that is falling must fully merge into the water. So only with that authenticity does this ego germ, the ego germ reduces in its power. So a lot of the resistance which is coming to the servitude part or the bhakti part is not for the love part, but for the obedience part, for the humility part. You see, because the drop itself is saying, but I am the water. Don't tell me to be obedient to God. I am God. I have seen I am God. You see, no, but you are still bouncing around. You see, the one that is protesting is the one that is still bouncing around. You see?
Yes.
And the thing is that the size of the drop, just we are stretching the metaphor, of course, too far, but the size of the drop, as a normal, regular human ego, the idea that I'm a person and relationship is important to me, and money is important to me, and health of the body is important to me, and the search for meaning is important to me. All of these ideas of the regular human ego are tiny compared to the idea of the ego that I am the self.
Yes, Father, this idea I have since maybe I
And
was a child.
maybe I repeat this point again because it's a bit subtle. So the construct of the regular human ego is the construct of regular human conditioning, which is attachment to relationships, to body, to money, to conceptual understanding or meaning making. But the conceptual framework of the spiritual ego is full of that which sounds like true knowledge but has been applied in the wrong way. Is it? And this one is much more dangerous in its flavor, because it doesn't really dive towards the water. It tries to fly high and become God in a different way. You see, it wants to um, play as if it is God and to show everyone that it is God. So, so it really comes to the highest aspiration of the ego in that sense to try and play God itself. Okay? So it is strange that our spiritual insight itself can either bring us to sheer nothingness. You see, a spiritual insight can bring us to a sheer nothingness, or it can serve to give the ego what it always wanted the most, which is to play God.
Father,
Are you all getting this point? See?
I understand experientially
Yes.
this, what you say, because I see that I can say I am the awareness, you know, and the spiritual ego. I feel that I have, yes, because I can perceive this kind of thoughts, also trying to make in meaning of the teachings in life or something.
Exactly.
And also trying to defend itself from the simile attacks.
Exactly. So what to do so that our spiritual insight never becomes the egoic aspiration of the highest attainment that the ego wants? One is, of course, we continue to inquire, to remain in the insight, And that itself is very beautiful. But what does the spiritual ego say? Once you are caught up in it, do you feel like inquiring?
In the ego, no.
You say, no, no, I am done with it. I am done with sadhana. I am the guru now. I don't need to inquire because I have seen I am the awareness. You see? So that which was intuitively your insight, that which was intuitively known that I am awareness, has now become just some conceptual knowledge. You see? And have you seen over all the time that I've shared satsang, all the children who've had the insight, you see, most of them I would say go through this infection period. You see, where if you ask them the next day, so who are you? I know, Father, I am awareness, which is a very different quality from I am aware. You see?
Mm.
So that which was heart knowledge, when once it becomes head knowledge, becomes all contaminated. And then they also feeling attacked because why is Father asking me now? You see?
Mm.
It should be clear to him. It should be clear to him that I know myself. So all this kind of, I've seen all these plays of the mind. You see all the plays of.
This I see that I think Father has to know who I am really. He has to see
Yeah,
me who I am truly.
yeah.
He has
Why
to
doesn't he see
notice.
me? You see, and that has been the cause of many children leaving the sangha also. Many
Yes,
children
Father,
leaving
this
the
is what
satsanga.
I feel
It
now.
is just
Like
like, I
I
have got it, I have got it, I have got it, but Father does not say or does not confirm it or doesn't treat me as special or doesn't confirm my enlightenment. He doesn't want me to grow. All this nonsense, it plays out. You see, where all I really want is for all of you to grow authentically in God's light. And I have never taken even the sharing of God or the sharing of His presence to be something only designated for special ones who are picked or something like that. I've always tried to create a platform where everybody can openly share. But what can happen
yes,
is that,
Father, I'm feeling it's like I don't like you don't want that I'm in satsang or so. This is what I'm thinking.
yeah,
Trying to
so
demonstrate to
exactly.
myself to be clear if this is true or not. Uh,
So all these then
when
conspiracy theories start. You see, all the
yeah,
conspiracy theories start that actually now what is happening is that Father himself, you see, is not wanting to confirm my realization or something like that, because Father is like wanting to stop me from growing or some nonsense like that. You see,
no,
so,
I
so
thinking like I have no chance. I lost my chance. When a father say that I'm a lost case or something, or I don't know, maybe he want that I go away to find God everywhere else. I don't know, like
how
no,
did
I
you?
say it's
Where did you hear? Where did you hear Father saying any of this?
no, it's the mind. Okay, it's the mind. That's why I feel so confused because I know, no, say I know, the mind is so confusing stuff, and I cannot say that something is really true. So I have to investigate if it's true or not, and
Okay, okay. So let
but
me let me
all
let me
this
try
is
and help even more. So let's return at the possibility of really making the metaphor useless. Let's try to stretch it a little more. Now, where at what point are we? We recognize that I am this water. All that is that water. So I am this reality, this water. And we recognize that there is also still a drop which is jumping around.
yeah.
isn't it? We cannot be in denial of either, because our insight shows us that we are the water, you see, and our love shows us that we are the drop. So, how to make sure that the remnants of this drop don't catch the infection of spiritual ego? And we don't have to invent a new technique. We don't have to invent a new way to prevent this drop from taking itself to be super drop, and all powerful drop. The path is already been made clear by the sages, by the masters, that this me that still remains must be brought into love and servitude. Love and servitude is bhakti. Insight that I am the water is insight, is jnana. So, so this one that is jumping around looking for solutions and narratives and conclusions about everything, about ourselves, about the teaching, about the master, about God, about everyone it wants to judge. You see? So how to keep that one in check? We have to keep it in check by making it a servant of God, making it in service to the holiness, the holy presence of God. And that is the only tried and tested, time tested mechanism to make sure that the trajectory of the drop continues to go closer and closer to the water, to dissolution, as close to dissolution as possible.
Yes, but I have some doubts also about this
Okay,
because
okay, wait. So then the simple question is not what is happening to me, but the question now is, then how am I being in service to God now?
yes,
How are you being
this
in
is
service to
something
God?
that is very confusing to me because I don't know anymore if even if I eat, if it's in service to me or in service to God, this kind of stupidness comes from
How will
the
you know?
mind, and I don't know if I'm doing my work, if I'm in service to God or not. I don't know what I have to do to be in
Okay,
service to
let's
God.
pause.
It's like
I, okay,
a
let's pause.
total mess.
Yes, let's pause. It's good. I enjoy it speaking with you because when you speak like that, it is just like you're giving voice to the mind. You know, it's just like there's no filter. So I love that because all the mind's protestations, they just come across to everyone very clearly. So that is also helpful because all of us can spot this. See?
Thank
It
you.
is exactly like this. The mind's complaining is exactly like that, but most of us don't bring it so unfiltered to the mouth, and that's why it's nice to talk to someone who can just honestly just bring it like that. You see,
Yeah, I want to be
not
clear
that we have
about
to
it.
continue like this for for provisionally for the moment. It is fine like this too. So so it's a very precise satsang, no? When I say uh, what is the mind going to say now, she openly says this is what the mind is saying. So it's very helpful for everyone to spot within themselves that this is okay. So from what I got from all of that was that the question is, how do I know whether I am in service to God at the moment? You see? So I was speaking to another child the other day, and she had the same question. And of course, the answer really is that your heart will guide you, your heart will tell you. But let's suppose for a moment that the heart stopped guiding us for some reason. The heart did not move us, you see, and the heart did not even guide us, which is not possible. The heart doesn't take a holiday. Okay, so it's not possible. But suppose for a moment it feels like it is not happening. There is no heart movement and there is no heart guidance. Then what should we do? Do we still not know how to serve God? We know. We have been taught. All of us as children have been taught kindness, compassion, love, good.
Yes, Father,
Uh,
this I
yes,
try to do it. Also, I mean, like, try to consider all this love, kindness, try to include everyone. Also, I mean, until I think the best action that include everyone, and then I act, no, or something, or just simply it comes like this, like a possibility that I wasn't know that was existing. So this I try
yes, and that is
since.
then more than enough. Because when you are walking in the street, you see somebody with a frown on their face, can you give them a smile?
Yeah, Father.
Hmm? Can you give them a smile and then they smile at least for a moment and they forget their worries? That is to serve God. This is the smallest thing where we know, actually, all of us know, even children know what their heart compass is showing them. So,
Yes, Father, but I
we,
don't know if sometimes I'm wrong and maybe I hurt anyone.
yes, so suppose all of that is true. Suppose all of that is true. The option that we have now is to start now, isn't it? To start to mend things with our brothers and sisters now, to spread the love of God now, to bring turn. Can we turn someone who's open towards God's light and presence within themselves? That is a simple uh, conversation can change somebody's life.
Yes, Father, I feel that I o sea, as much as possible, I am in this way. I am in this way,
But what
like,
happens is that we don't want to do it like a brother or a sister. We want to do it as somebody special. I must become a teacher first. They must accept me as my teacher. Then I will tell them there is God. You see, we want to make it all about
no,
me.
when I don't see
I'm not
this
saying for
in
you.
my
I'm saying that
case.
yes, yes. I'm not saying in your case. I'm just saying that usually the spiritual ego will want all the perks and position and pride before it can just offer wholeheartedly what it has. You see? Instead, we must wholeheartedly offer ourselves and our insights and our love and our presence to all the
I
beings,
can, you know,
beings
o
in
sea,
this
I
world.
mean, what is happening is I try to do with all my heart, no? But sometimes I feel that there is resistance in another person or something,
Yes.
or maybe they get hurt. And so I doubt if I'm doing the right thing, I'm in service to God or not. Um, yes, also sometimes if I see that I want to be better or something, I just stop because I don't want to go that way because it's not that way. I don't want to hurt anyone. So I prefer to lose than to win. I don't know if this is another position or something. And
Just keep yourself
so,
available. Okay, so like I was saying in the beginning, that our intuitive guidance, our Sadguru presence doesn't ever go on holiday. So it's always available to us. You see? And if we follow its guidance truly with integrity, then it happens many times that before somebody turns away from their egotistical way of life to God, something has to hurt them. You see, it can seem very strong, but most people who come to satsang have been hurt somewhere. You see, and that's what has made them open to a different way of life. So Otherwise, the question doesn't come. So, if your conversation has been truly with love and compassion, kindness, and your only intention is to share God and not make yourself a know it all or somebody who's better than the other one, then in the process, if provisionally some hurt comes, some feeling of being attacked comes, then that is to be expected as part of this sharing of God, because you're attacking a way of life. You see, we are all living in the human condition, we are living in the egotistical way of life. And if somebody comes and tells us, no, no, that is wrong, we must follow God's will instead, they will feel attacked. You see, so we must not shy away from that fact, but we must make sure that we are not coming from any specialness or pride.
Yes, Father, this I see even if you can be just smiling in the street and someone gets hurt or
Just by
something,
smiling at them,
or
they get
just
hurt.
happy.
It's a very
Yeah,
sensitive
this
place, really.
happening. Yes,
You just
yes,
smile at someone
this
and they feel like,
happened to me. Because you are so happy to be in God, and for the people sometimes it's strange to see someone so happy. You have to something strange, and sometimes I remember one woman that I crossed in the street. She get like hurt, like are you joking about me or something?
ah, you're
But
laughing at me.
okay,
Huh? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, some risk we have to take. It's okay. Not every, we must not expect that we smile at someone and they really may be having a really terrible day. Something may be really wrong according to them in their life, and they're entitled to not smile back at you or to be upset at you. It's okay. That much risk we have to take in the
right.
process. We cannot attach
Yes,
ourselves to
Father.
the
So
outcome
this,
too much.
I mean, this kind of thing happen. Also, I experienced this kind of thing, and also I try let let them understand that I not one. That is not my intention at all. And, and this change also their view
Right.
because voila, etc.
It's also cultural, no?
And
It's cultural. I remember that when we visited America, we were in Indiana first, and in Indiana, everybody greets each other and says, they don't even say just have a nice day, they say have a nice rest of your day. They take that additional effort to uh, greet each other and things like that. But when you go from there to another place, maybe like a New York or something, and you just greet someone and they're like, "Growl," so you don't know how what kind of reaction will come. It's fine. Of course, most people are nice everywhere, but there are cultural differences and things like that as well. So, but we cannot be so um, attached to the outcome of what happened and the meaning that if it didn't turn out good according to my mind, then I must not have been coming from my heart or something like that. We must not.
yes,
We must not,
this kind of doubts comes after. Maybe in the moment there is nothing happen, but
we
after
must not.
if I'm in the mind, this
Yes, we must
kind
not.
of thing comes like if something's hurt, maybe it's your fault. You are not serving God, or you are doing not right.
Yes,
This kind of thing.
yes. You have to live in the heart moment to moment. You cannot just dip into the heart and say, okay, what should I do now? And then do that, and then go to the mind to assess how did that work out? Oh, that worked well. I'll keep going to my heart. You can't live do that. You have to
Yeah,
moment to moment.
this
Moment
is
to moment.
happening when I'm in the ego because I see that I cannot see clear. So I try to find a solution. But when I'm empty, just everything happens by itself. No, it's not like I have to
It is not
calculate
possible
anything.
to. It is not possible to live in servitude to God and still keep all the focus on me, me, me. You see, on the me, me, me.
Yes.
Mhm.
this is something that I care. When I have to work, I am in the mind, try to see if it's okay for God. I
Okay,
have a
okay, now
confusion.
enough of the mind listening. Let's go to what your heart is saying. What is your truth?
Perdón. Say nothing. Yeah, I don't know why I don't just leave all the stuff about my work. And
Yes, but I said no more mind listening. It's been a very beautiful conversation and contemplation. I feel like most of what I've been trying to communicate is there. So just remain in that presence, remain in the contemplation that we've been having, and don't let your mind come and push you around so easily. It just comes and pushes you, and you're just getting shaken. God is in your heart. Rely on that supreme strength and don't worry about the me. Otherwise, you'll always be shaken. That is the only tactic that the mind has which can shake you. Concern about the non-existent me.
because I don't have to listen to this me to anything at all. No.
Nothing at all.
So I can just not listen,
Yes,
not
yes,
listening to anything. O sea,
yes.
I mean, not go
But
to anything at all.
but we've had this conversation before. Have we not had this conversation before? Do I need to
Maybe,
listen to the
yes.
mind for anything at all? And I have said, no, you don't. Is it? I'm sure we've had this conversation before, and also that every conversation that is had here is a conversation with you. So just throw it out.
Okay.
Very good, very good. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. Let's go to Aniko.
Thank you, Ananta-ji.
Welcome.
I just came up. I just hear myself double. Now, like this. Just 1 second, please. I just have to
No
put the
problem.
volume up. I have
I'll
struggled with this volume problem
take your
nowadays.
time. I'll have a sip of water and
Sorry, I am here. So I just came up to.
it's like suddenly I'm transported to a Hawaiian beach and I have a
Very good for you, Ananta-ji. I would like to.
how to share with you on Zoom.
No, just the theater in Hawaii, relaxed and peaceful. Actually, the life showed me nowadays how much I am about the me instead of about God.
It showed me about the me.
About the attachment about myself, and I surprise myself as well. For so long, I being in satsangs and still this attachment towards my world and my belongings and stuff is still very, very hard. And I got so disappointed about myself, this failure of myself, and also Anantaji. I honestly, I don't really feel the love for God, and this also disappoint me. Probably I don't even
But you
know. I
disappoint
don't
God, no?
disappoint everybody. Yeah, and also you.
I
I
don't
just
feel the
want to
love
be
for God, and
removed.
that disappointed me.
Excuse me. Sorry, I just didn't hear now.
I was just saying that it sounds a bit funny to say that I don't feel any love for God, and that really disappointed me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, actually, I don't know who is having this disappointment, but Anantaji, you are talking about this drop, and I just want to be reduced. You said it's never dissolved, but I a bit shocked about because I thought sometimes it's just getting.
Yes, yes. So this one, no, this one, that's a bit shocked. Actually, he's not shocked. It's a bit upset. No, it's a bit upset that why will I not fully dissolve? This one has to be
Yeah.
kept in love and servitude to God.
Yeah, Anantaji, I came here just front of you now to meet you in the heart because whenever I meet you, I know this job is getting smaller and I don't know what to ask because I already had all the question and you give me everything and still I am here, Anantaji. I don't know. I just give it in your hand to do something.
Disconnected. Connected.
Yes, madam. Yes, yes, yes.
Disconnected.
So, are you saying that you don't want to take the effort of being in servitude? So, I should do something for that one. It's like, it's too much work, obedience, humility, faith, prayerfulness, gratitude. So much easier, just be open and empty, it's all fine. You see, but the one that it says that it just wants to be simply one with God is the one that doesn't want to simply be one with God.
Somebody is really egoic in here, Anantaji. Very much.
Yes, so that
very selfish, Anantaji.
It's very good to see. It's very good to see that because that is where you're identifying the drop. You see, that is the drop. Now, that selfish one has to be informed of the fact that it is nobody and God is the true master of this universe, and that one's job is just to follow God's will like a humble servant.
But Anantaji, it's not a decision. I already done this decision and still is this drop is here. I mean, what to do to put this decision inside the heart and make it real?
Are you saying that besides insight, love, servitude, you want something else to do?
Actually, only one thing I want to be nothing, Anantaji. This is the only things I want,
Okay.
really.
Okay. What stops you from being nothing?
Being something.
Okay. Yes. So how right now is there nothing or something right now?
I am something, Anantaji.
Right now.
Yes.
Show me where.
I am the beggar to
Take your time. Take your time. But I said, remember, I said right now.
yeah.
So are you recognizing that to be something you need time? And what do you need the time for? To think. You may say whatever, but it's time you're taking to think.
But
We might hide it that it's actually something else. I'm experiencing some pain, but we just, what am I thinking? So if you don't use that time to think, you're nothing.
okay, but I cannot constantly not giving that time to think because
Yes,
it's happening
because
on.
because you will not constantly remain in the insight, you see, which is pure jnana. Therefore, then this elephant with the trunk which is disrupting all the fruits and vegetables in the market has to be given a stick to hold in the trunk so it doesn't disrupt everything. And that is the anchor of love. You see? That is the anchor of love. And as you love deeper and deeper, servitude becomes natural for us. Or as you serve deeper and deeper, love becomes natural for you. You see? Now, when we try to keep this ego in check in obedience to the will of God, then it protests. It says, no, no, I would rather be in insight because the sage has said this and the masters have said this, conveniently ignoring the fact that the sage has said that both are important, jnana and bhakti. Okay, so let's
Sorry,
make this
Ananta-ji, I
short.
am
What?
so, I don't know.
Tell me again. What is it that you want?
I don't know. I, I, s- I want to be finished, Ananta-ji. I don't want to struggle with this me anymore. And I also, yes, I would like to feel the love for God, and I would like to feel the love from God. And sometimes it's just, I, it's not.
Okay, so okay, I will give you multiple choice option. You want to finish the me.
Yes, yes.
You want to finish with insight, love, or servitude.
I want to finish all. I don't mind love either and service. I don't want. I
No, pick one.
If I finished, I finished. I mean, yeah,
Through which sword? There are three swords lying in front of me.
yes,
Insight, love, and servitude. How do you want your head chopped off?
inside.
Insight you want, no? So I will have to use servitude with you.
Oh,
Mhm. Are you getting it?
yes, I
The
get it.
one who naturally says, no, no, just insight is fine. I want to chill and just be open and empty. You see, all the servitude stuff sounds too much. You see, too much to become humble, to listen to God moment to moment, to follow His guidance, to wait for Him because He's mostly silent. I don't have that kind of patience. You see, I would rather just ask who am I and see I am awareness and celebrate the fact that I am just awareness.
For a long time, I thought it is really enough just to be open and empty. And then you came with this kind of, that is
Yes,
not
my
enough.
dear. But the it is enough, you see. But the thing is that in open and empty, you recognize that you are the water. Are you telling me that you remained open and empty throughout? When you thought it is enough, were you open and empty throughout?
No,
You see? So is it that I am suddenly cruel now and I have given all my children this instruction, remain open and empty and you are free. And suddenly now I'm feeling like, let me make it a little more difficult just to trouble you. Could it be like that? That I
yes.
just want to trouble all of you. Oh, ye with little faith, what to do? Well, at least she's honest. So, So for how many years have I shared open and empty?
Yeah, I know.
You're getting a sense of where we are going. So
Yeah.
what is happening is that because that becomes a very comfortable, easy form of self-serving spirituality. They just feel like, let me remain empty. But the me that is remaining empty is not empty. You see, it is used it as a tactic to feel good about ourselves. So, how to come to? So, have you ever heard of a sage who lived open and empty but was not in servitude to God?
No,
Do they like to trouble themselves needlessly?
no. So what is wrong with me?
What is wrong with you?
Yes.
Yes. The one that hopes that the insight that you have through inquiry and through open and empty would make you into free or finished with all of this or whatever conclusion it wants. Okay? That one has to, or something has to make that one's head completely bowed down to God. Because that one becomes proud, entitled, worthy. What entitles us to have finality in God's presence? What makes us so special? You say, I just want to finish it all. Tell me why you deserve it.
I don't deserve it, Ananta-ji. I think everybody going in this way and somehow is have to be finished. I don't know. I don't know why I deserve, but I just cannot live like this anymore with myself, with this egoic, selfish I don't deserve it, but I just
Yes.
hope.
Yes.
This is why I said I give it in your hand, because I cannot. This is not because just I am lazy to, or maybe yes as well in a way, but I I just don't know the way.
Yes, my child. Yes, but the thing is that you say I give it in your hand with full faith.
Yes, yes.
What if I said to you that together we will walk on this path for 100 more lifetimes?
That would be really shocking, Ananta-ji.
1 second, my dear. 1 second. I'll just come back. Okay, just unmute again.
So
Yes.
do you
You'll
really
be shocked.
mean
I'm meant to shock you with that 100 thing. So, how many lifetimes is okay?
I wish this one would be the last one, Ananta-ji.
Okay. So, what is that the boundary of your faith? That I will give it all to you under the guarantee, just make sure it happens in this lifetime.
To be honest, yes.
Yes. So, that is what you need to contemplate. That is very little faith. It's more like a business deal. I don't mean to hurt you in any way, but the fact is
And
that when we say to someone that I give everything to you so that you finish me, but just make sure it happens before I die, then is it really a surrender? Or is it just a bargain because there is no better bargain available?
Ananta-ji, this is the begging. I know.
Yes. So then if somebody came and said, I can do it for you today itself, Anantaji will take this whole lifetime, then who will you go to?
How to answer this? I,
You see? So this business mind
mm,
has to be brought to love and servitude. How do we light the fire in your heart for the love of God, for the love of Master, that whatever is their will, you recognize that you are in service to that, instead of having your own ideas of outcomes and what you want, and looking for solutions for me, instead of looking for ways in which you can serve God. How you want to spend this life? Serving me or serving God?
I want to serve God, of course.
Why? Because it'll help finish you off. You have to carefully look at these things.
But Ananta-ji, I don't want to be not honest. Somehow, something in me don't want to take longer this all stuff anymore.
Yes. So that, what is that in you? What is that in you?
This one is a sufferer. This one is a sufferer who took too much heaviness. And
can you suffer without pride?
I can suffer anyhow.
Try to suffer with no pride. Pride means I know something, I am somebody. You see, all these things are pride, no? That God is here, but I know something. I have a plan. I know when I should be finished. You see? So if God says 3.5 lives, you say, no, 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 I know what is better for me. Because it has to be this life. God gives us the capacity to know. So
3.5 sounds better than the 100.
Yes. So, but one sounds better than 3.5. But how does this one who is saying I want it like this, how does it really know what is better for you?
Doesn't know anything, Ananta-ji.
Yes.
Just
And
hoping.
still, but you're still dancing to that one's tunes. If that one says, oh, Ananta-ji will take 100 lifetimes, but this other master will take 1 lifetime, but tomorrow there'll be a third master who will take 3 days, another master will come with a 5-day intensive, you see, then who will you go with, honestly?
Ananta-ji, they are really coming. There is a lot of master with a lot of methods and contradictionary ideas about I trust you, Ananta-ji. I trust you. And
but who would you go with in this situation?
I mean,
Who knows better for you? That is faith. That is the one that you truly have faith in. When you make a determination that that one knows best for my life, that is who you have faith in. So then, whether it is 100 lifetimes or this life or this instant, who knows better?
you, Ananta-ji.
You're forced to give that response, is it? Take your time, contemplate this. We don't have to rush to conclusion. So, but the compulsion to determine what should happen for me is pride. Because how do we know what should happen to ourselves?
We don't know, but that is the right. I don't know.
When we take on the position that I know that I am done with this, it should happen for me now, I'm tired of this, please finish me off. It is to know a lot of things, no?
Yeah.
It is not to be empty. So when we know a lot of things, you see, and we know this not intuitively, but we know them in the mind, that is called pride.
Yeah.
And pride hates servitude.
Ananta-ji, God really doesn't talk, doesn't give instructions, doesn't show me anything. It's just only the silence. This is the only things what I could go into and rest in and surrender in it. But
Are you saying God is not able to guide you because he doesn't have the capability?
no, it's about something about this tool, this body, this one who cannot have no the
God told you that? God told you that this tool is not capable of receiving help from me? God told you?
no, no.
Who told you?
So there is not a third solution.
Huh?
There is no, there isn't a third solution.
Okay. No, but who told you that you cannot receive guidance from God?
Yeah, uh, I don't really have guidance from God.
How long have you waited?
Years.
You waited for years patiently without relying on any other means. You waited for God to guide you.
I didn't focus that much, like 100% on, no.
So how much have you focused 100%?
I, I,
Before you make the conclusion that God doesn't guide me or doesn't want to guide me or doesn't want to run my life, how much of ourselves have we given for how long?
yes. Oh, yes. Anantaji, how can, how could, how can I blow my head down fully to God?
I've shared, my child. If you look at one of the previous satsangs just last week, I've broken it all down and given very precise instructions on this, and someone can send that to you, and you can listen to that also. Every element of it, as far as I feel it could be helpful for you to follow, I've broken down with specific questions. Do we live as if God is our reality, or do we live as if God is a conceptual idea? And if God is reality and that is available to us as a helping hand in the form of our presence, then are we living moment to moment as if God is here? That is the first question about faith. So in a satsang, I've provided all these tools for us to use, but even this question is helpful. You say God does not help me or guide me. Tell me, is God here now?
God is always here.
No, no, not through here.
Okay.
Meet him and tell me.
Yeah. Anantaji, there is too much thought now at the moment in my head and too
Okay.
much suggestion.
So because there is all this happening on the surface, your presence is not there?
Yes, it is. Yes.
It is there, no?
Yes.
Okay. Now stay with that presence and allow it to move the body, move the world, whatever it has to move. Don't rely on your mind at all. Who is moving that mouth? Who is making that laughter happen? The mind is? The same one that beats your heart can run your life without your mind's interference. That is to follow the will of God. Okay. I have one more question for you and for all of you. How many thousand lifetimes are we willing to wait for God to speak to us, for Him to guide us? I was telling another child the other day that suppose you went to a beach, and there you met a grain of sand. The grain of sand says to you, I've waited for you for so many years. I've lived on this beach for 25 years. I've waited for you. You haven't come. How dare you not come? I've waited for you. What will you tell that grain of sand? What what could have made that grain of sand worthy of your presence? So what has happened is that we ourselves love to call this the direct path. We call it the direct path. Somewhere that becomes like an entitlement for us. But I've been on the direct path. I should have him immediately. Why hasn't he come yet? I'm already 25 years old or whatever. How dare he not come? You see, so we don't say the words like that, but basically our tone becomes this way. There is nothing that entitles us to him. It is only his grace, his mercy. We must learn to accept that fact. And to accept that fact is to keep our head bowed down.
Thank you so much.
Very, very welcome. But stay with this. Let's not repeat the cycle of, picking up the mind, then dropping it by the end of the conversation, then picking it up again, and then dropping it by the end of the conversation. Lovely. Thank you. So many hands. We go to iPhone. iPhone is who? Tara, is it? Namaste. Namaste. I can't hear you so well, my dear.
I'm not able to speak.
Acha, acha. Take your time. Very good.
I raised my hand a couple of times and then quickly put it off.
Acha. They caught you at the right time. Yeah.
This time I just raised my hand, Father, right now. And I said he'll forget about seeing me because I've just raised it now.
Usually what happens is that if you've not spoken much like this, then I call on those because sometimes they may not get a chance. So I'm happy that I picked you.
I think God's heard every bit of what my soul craved for. And I have no sense left in me, whatever little is left of any kind of sensibility or entitlement every time. And I look at it, Father, and I just think to myself, I've not really been worth Meera being in my life or you being. I don't know. I've done nothing. And God's graced it all. Meera has held, I think she knows every cell in my body. Even if I don't say it, she can just catch hold of me.
Very.
She can catch hold of me.
Yeah, masters have that irritating habit.
And a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to talk to her. She is not understanding. And I hear you, Father, then, when I'm not able to get through, then I keep hearing you. And then I realize these are the words that Meera is saying to me. And there is something that within me which is still resisting because I feel I've gotten it. And why is she not understanding that I've gotten to some place? And I find it such a ridiculous thing. It is so, there's no place, nothing to be gained. And
Who has understood that? Who has understood that there is nothing to be gained?
sigh when I see myself, when I meet myself, when I see myself in all my rawness.
Yes. So I with C's is which one? Go slowly with this contemplation. It's good. The eye that sees even ignorance, or it perceives the sound of this voice, which is aware of this perception. What can we say about that eye?
I can't describe it in words, which I'm so fond of otherwise. I'm not able to.
Why is that? What is the reason?
Because words cannot sum it.
Yes, but why? Why not? What is the attempt and it fails to be encapsulated in words? What happens? Like just when you're about to conclude something about the reality of I, what happens? What are you finding?
When I try to conclude it or write about it, it becomes very mental. It's
Yes.
not it. It's not it.
Yes, but who watches all of this? Who is watching all of this? And if it is not to be found, or if we can't find it, why do we call it I? That would be very absurd to do, no? Let's take something we can't find and let's call it the most important thing in our life, I. So what's going on?
I don't know what's going on, but I know it's me. It's me.
On what basis do we know? And how do we know? Okay. So let me approach this a different way. We can know through a few different ways, isn't it? We can know because we perceive. How many fingers are you perceiving? Huh? 5, isn't it? So you're perceiving them, so you can conclude that there are 5 fingers. So it's a matter of perception then. And in the world, people say seeing is believing. So we value that mode of knowledge, isn't it? The other is that we have an idea that we feel is there from a credible source. So although our experience perceptually is that the world is flat, we have concluded that the world is spherical or the earth is spherical because we've heard it from a credible source. That is the other way in which we have knowledge. Now, the knowledge of this I, that I am witnessing the sound of the voice of this man, is it through perception, through concept? How do we know?
No, it is not through perception or knowledge.
Or conceptual knowledge? Then is it just imaginary?
No, it cannot be imaginary. It cannot.
So then how is it? What kind of knowledge is this?
I don't know, it's coming. You say that it's known. True.
Yes, but the fingers are known, the shape of the earth is also known. You see, so all is known. But how is it known? How is the self known? How is this witnessing I known? So therefore, is there a third way beyond perception and concept?
I just know it, Father. It's known
Yeah.
to itself.
It's just known. Okay. Anything else which is just known like that? Take your time over this because it's a trick question. I'm warning you. So, anything else which is just known like that? Because I know the impulse is to say no, no. But just check. So let's for the moment call this just knowing intuitive insight. It sounds much better like that. No? Intuitively, through the Sadguru presence, we recognize the self. Anything else we know just like that?
I've heard this from you, and I know it also. The love, the unconditional love. Love
Okay,
which
so,
I
okay, love. So you know that answer. What else? It's just awareness and love. Huh?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Is it just awareness and love? What else?
Intuitively, I know who I am, like this.
And what else? So is intuition limited to self-knowledge as awareness and the presence of unconditional love? And that's where it stops.
No.
Does it have a boundary, limitation?
No.
So this is a very beautiful contemplation. Does perception have a boundary, limitation?
Yes.
What is the boundary of perception?
Whatever is visible in
Yes,
front of
and if you were to quantify it even further, the boundary of our perception is the extent to which our attention can go on something, isn't it?
you.
So the boundary of our attention is the boundary of our perception. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So, and we can see that it is limited. Attention is limited because if you try to imagine a tree and to focus on something in front of you at the same time, what happens? You're not focusing on something in front of you at the same time. So what happens is that it becomes blurry. If you try to do both, so we live our life in this way anyway, that we try to think, you see, what's in it for me, how can I understand this, what can I get from this, all of this, and we're trying to perceive the world and deal in it. And that's why our lives are so lifeless and too insipid, you see, tepid, because we are half here and half perceiving the world. But if you move to pure perception, then attention is enough to perceive the world, whatever we need to perceive in the world, and to not confuse ourselves to be a limited entity or individual or person. We're just awareness manifesting as beingness, and within beingness, the perceived world, it appears to us. All this knowledge is intuitively apparent to us then. So, to return to the main point, you notice that phenomenal perception is limited. Is it limited by the boundary of our attention? Is our conceptual knowledge limited or unlimited?
Definitely limited.
Definitely limited, and mostly garbage anyway, isn't it? So, and mostly is a charitable thing to say in that case. So you said something that your intuition is unlimited. Isn't it? Whereas
Yes.
now we're concluding that perception is limited and conceptual knowledge is limited. So therefore, even logically speaking, we can just rely on our intuition for everything. Because if it is unlimited, it knows. Independent of perception and conceptualization. Is it? So then, why don't we live just intuitively? Why do we rely on our mind? Why do we conclude on the basis of perception? And the sages have made it easier for us to live in that way by calling this one the Sadguru presence, the Atma within, the Holy Spirit, all the ansh of God within ourselves. So, if they have told us that this is the aspect of God within ourselves, then would that not be all-knowing? Why would we then rely on the false modes of knowledge? But do we have faith that what the masters have told us is true? Are we willing to bet our life on it? Is it?
There's
So
no doubt, Father.
huh? No, go ahead.
I really can't have the courage to have any kind of doubt left, because I've seen it again and again. I may have not believed.
Yes, my child.
I've
But what
heard
you need courage for is
But
see, the doubt is an antidote to the courage that is needed, or a deterrent to the courage that is needed. You see, the doubt will say, I'm not asking for much. I'm just saying, hedge your bets little bit. Keep your one foot, one toenail in the world also. Balance mein karo thoda. You see, just balance it out. I'm not saying give up on God. I'm just saying you just make sure that you don't waste your whole life on something which ultimately is untrue. And suppose it is untrue, then have a little bit saved up somewhere so that you can fall back on it. You see? So it tries to hold us back in that way. But if you truly lived as if God's presence lives within yourself, what would your life be like? You see? And the as if is not to be presumed conceptually. It is to be lived moment to moment in the presence of that light.
yes.
You see? So what stops you from doing that?
I can see no attachment, very deep attachment to my self, but I see a lot of factors playing out. I'm talking about this person, individual. From
No,
time to time, they come up.
yes. Let's contemplate this deeply and come up with a simple answer. What stops you from living in God's light moment to moment? Contemplate means observe it for yourself right now. I'll wait for you.
Complete faith, Father.
Yes. So is there a doubt that the presence within you is God's?
No.
Is there a doubt that He wants to guide us, He wants to love us?
No.
Or do we have ideas about our own life which we are scared God may have a different plan, so we don't want to give up on those? What are you not willing to do, even if you are guided by God? That determines the boundary of our faith. You see? So resist the temptation to make conclusions about yourself either unworthy or worthy, and just remain empty to be available to serve God moment to moment, you see? So that His presence can run your life. And I am telling you that it can.
Yes, Father.
How will you remain empty? Remain empty of what?
Empty of any of the narrative of the mind.
You see, so self-concern, self-will, self-judgment, all of these things, you have to keep them aside to clear the space for God to run your life. You see, you're scared of something. What is it that you're scared of?
I don't know.
क्या हो जाएगा कि that you are not willing to bear for God?
ऐसा कुछ
Nothing
हो ही
like
नहीं
that.
सकता. पता नहीं moment to moment कैसा है, Father, but मुझे a little bit bodily I struggle a lot, and last night was very intense, and I was looking, really looking at whatever sensation, body pain.
So if God's presence was not an antidote to pain, you would have God, but you would still experience pain for the rest of your life and maybe many lifetimes. Would you still be okay with that?
Can I tell you the truth?
Yes, please, you must not lie.
I don't want to sound like I know and I can, but this is the only thing which holds you. In the sense, it is, Father, this is the only thing which is the God, the strength that comes. Where can it come from?
No,
I
so
have no
are you saying yes or no? I'm getting confused. You can
No.
bear a life of pain if that is God's will, or you can't.
Last night I was looking at the same thing. I said,
Okay. What is
I
your
mean,
answer now? Right now, what is your answer? And
I'm okay, Father.
you accept it grudgingly.
I'm not. I'm not.
I don't
You
like what you're doing, but I'm okay. Which is fair. Which is fair.
No, I'm okay.
It's tough to like.
I'm very true with this. What you said, like, no matter what, it's not. I may have this grudgingly complain also to God about this. Why, a little bit of that, but that's all. I can't say anything
That
more. And
is so sorry.
I'm not. What I
I'm
mean to say
laughing
is,
at
I
the
keep.
little bit of why, because what entitles us to ask God why? हमें ऐसा क्या है कि हम भगवान से पूछें आप कैसे कर रहे हो ये?
The very fact that we feel that we love him. I mean, I felt that within myself that I love you so much. And I didn't realize that I am looking for again a bargain that I love you so much. And this is a favor that I'm doing for you. And you are still not looking after me.
Correct. And where does that love come from? I love God so much. What is the source of that love? You produced it. Does anyone have the recipe for love? We don't have, no? So our love for God is God's gift to us. Because what a life it would be if we did not love God. And how do you know that it is your love for God and not God's love for you that you are experiencing? So when we love God, it is like an invocation for God to love us. It's an invitation for God to love us. When we make ourselves open to love God, it is to invite the presence of His love to be felt here. So if there's a favor in this, it's definitely in the other direction to what the mind makes it out to be. He has graced us with the privilege of love. We must realize that as a body mind that we take ourselves to be, we are nothing. In the trillions of universes that have come and gone, each universe having trillions of stars like the sun, and each sun having so many planets around it, and we are 7 billion of us in one of the tiniest planets on our galaxy. 7 billion. And we have still the capacity to take ourselves to be something in front of Him. That is the most absurd. The ego is the most absurd thing God has created, actually. The ability to take on pride and to start to deal with God like that, you see. I have loved you, so this I demand in return. It is not even the grain of sand and person on the beach example. I need to find a better metaphor for this. We are nothing, we are nobody at all. So to come to insight is to come to a real recognition of that nothingness, nothingness, that there is only the self, and within that self, being consciousness takes birth. But the one mosquito that still keeps buzzing around, you see, in spite of insight, that one must be kept in check. And it must never start to feel like it is at par with God, making deals with Him. Because there is nothing further from that.
Yes, Father.
Nothing further from the truth than that notion. And the sooner the mosquito realizes it's just a mosquito, it's better for us. We hate it. Our ego hates that. You see, it hates it. Servitude, mosquito, remnant of a drop. You see, the drop at least sounds a bit poetic, and you know, it's jumping like that. You see, but if I said you're just the remnant of the leg of an ant, the rest of the ant has been chewed up by the, you see, lizard or something like that, then that doesn't sound that nice, no? But that drop sounds very poetic. Acha, the drop is falling in the water. You see, it's actually the same metaphor. So don't get caught up in the mental framing that we are something very poetic or this. We're nobody, we're nothing. Tiny, tiny drop. Whereas he is the creator and light of a trillion oceans, boundless oceans. So that to remain empty is to not pick up anything, any pride. Do not allow the mind to tempt us with any notions. Just to devote ourselves fully in that moment to God, to His presence. And what a gift it is that we can say that His presence is here. We were not entitled to this.
Truly not entitled, Father. It's a blessing. It's a very, very, very big blessing.
Very good. Then can we give up our life for that blessing? You see, that is when the words on our lips become an authentic spirituality. To be able to offer it to Him, saying, "Jo kuch hai wo tera," whatever there is yours. But is there power? Is there fragrance in those words? Do they come from a place of authenticity that if God asks me for anything, I can give it to Him? You contemplate these things, my child. And my full
Please bless us all with this courage, Father.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Bless you. What did I say today that so many hands are up? Okay, who haven't I heard from in a while? Let's go to Audron. Can you get it? Audrone? Audron.
Audrone.
Always ask her this. I always ask her.
That's okay, Father. That's okay. Just, you know, you answered all the questions, but somehow this drop still wants to complain
It's okay.
about not dissolving and about seems that something in here always choose the wrong side and lets this ego even to grow more and more. I don't know, I don't have questions, but maybe the same ego feels tired with this, but there's no strength, no power of will to choose the right things. Something I know what is right, and
Yes. We don't have to offer ourselves up with strength, with power. In fact, to offer ourselves up knowing that we are weak. I'll tell you something very, I feel is very sweet. So, when I first heard of Yogi Ji, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Ji, I loved his expression. He was radical. He was just, out there. He was just full of love for God. I loved that whole thing. The one thing I didn't really understand or enjoy that much, although somewhere I admired it in my heart deeply, is he used to call himself this beggar, this beggar, this beggar. So like that. And somewhere my Advaita understanding didn't really resonate with that whole notion. But as something is deepening here in the love for God, I'm realizing that really is such a what remains of me is such a foolish beggar servant. So I'm not going to God as if I'm somebody worthy of God, as if I'm entitled to Him, as if I have the power to choose God even. I'm going to God with head bowed down as a beggar servant. As long as we go to Him, that is enough. That is enough. We don't have to meet any standard, and in fact, the remnants of this me obviously is not worthy in any way, just a remnant of a non-existent idea, you see, which is still like an infection floating around in consciousness somewhere. And some of you may be finding it funny that how is it that so much of our time is going on that tiny fragment of nothingness in consciousness, you see? Because I've seen the danger of this, and I've seen that how it has the ability, like one of those mythical characters in mythology, to just replicate itself. It's like the one whose head is chopped off but produces, like in Marvel movies they have Hydra, no? It's like one head is chopped off and 10 more come. It's just like that. So when we keep this infection festering, and I've seen it happen in our history to so many who had such authentic, beautiful insight, but fall prey to this spiritual ego, the spiritual pride, the achiever mindset. So when you say to me that I don't even know how to make the right choice, I don't even have the strength to do that, because it is coming from a place of authenticity in your heart. I'm loving your words, because I don't feel like I do either. There are so many times I feel like I'm still singing to my own beat, dancing to my own tunes. Do I wait for God's nudge and guidance in every moment of my life? I don't. And although authentically I can say that is deepening, the sensitivity to that aspect which still doesn't is also getting amplified. You see? And that is possibly happening to all of you as well. That through His grace we are deepening in His light and love and presence. But we recognize the infection now. We don't want it anymore. You see? And we realize that one has to continue to be kept humble in service to God. Otherwise, that one will cause the same trouble again, much more maybe. Imagine an ego. All of us have met this kind of Advaita person. You see? Have you all not met this kind of Advaita person who there's no window to talk to them at all? You see? Because the minute you start talking to them, they have some Mahavakya from the Advaita scriptures coming. They say, do you do your inquiry? They say, I'm not the doer. Who is there to inquire? You see? Are you living in service to God? I am Him. You see? But the fragrance is not I am Him. The fragrance is I am special. You see? So these are very, very subtle things. And that is why even in the Sangha we are learning this deepening of the way of the heart, and a lot of doubt can come. The mind will come and say, it was so much simpler earlier. Now what is this new stuff? Servitude. It can be, but I can smell there's so much of a alive spirituality in my children now. There's and not just a sort of very armchair spirituality. Yeah, I am that. So, yes, to recognize our unworthiness, our nothingness, our weaknesses compared to the pure perfection that is God's light. Is very auspicious, and we must always keep that in sight to prevent us from becoming proud. For years I used to say that I want to make teachers of God. For years I've said I want to make teachers of God, but actually no, I want to make servants of God. Because only those who are true servants of God can become true messengers of God. So the question for you also then is the same, saying, what is the boundary of your servitude to God? The beeping is also happening.
I think, yes. Then, when I question myself, if I am honest, yes, there are many things which I wouldn't do. Sorry for that.
All right.
So many things. Just, this ego rises up, and I don't want to look stupid in front of others.
Yeah.
And many things.
this is beautiful, because we don't have to, the mind sometimes will tell us like a huge project. You see? Would you give up your life? Would you do this? Would you do that? You see, but sometimes the simplicity of a project like, am I willing to look stupid? Am I willing to uh, sing uninhibitedly in an auto rickshaw? You know, one of my children had this thing. She felt guided from God to sing, and she was singing. She was sitting in, I don't know if you know this auto rickshaw in India as a small transportation. So then she got conscious that what will the driver think? You know, will he just ask me to get off, or you know what? And if Radha singing can be that, she can make okay. I did. I was not going to expose the name, but it came out. So if she can be scared of what her singing will sound like to the auto rickshaw, then where? What about the rest of us? So yeah. So these small projects. These are the small projects. Is it? Then we see the distinction between our lip service, which says, my life is for God and I've surrendered to the Guru fully. And then when we really notice, when push comes to shove, I'm scared of even looking stupid to somebody who I'll never meet again. You see, so there's a big difference, isn't it? So in our mind, we become very heroic in our surrender. But when it comes to actual rubber hitting the road, then is when it really hits the road. You see, and those are the moments which give us true fuel for contemplation, true fuel for humility. You see, so I love the simplicity in the exposing that I'm just right now I'm even scared to look stupid. So let's start with that. Let's start with that. Let's start with that. It's very good. I'm more concerned about those ones who are saying that there is nothing in me. You see? In the sense, there is no fear in me. I can do anything for God. It's all. He just has to say the word and I'm there. You see? That kind of bravado, that kind of um, seeming no risk is what I'm zeroing in on more and more. But those children who are able to identify in them the boundary that they've made for God to use their life, self-consciousness, stupidity, I'm less concerned about all of you. I'm more concerned about those kids who are saying, but I am the self. But I will fight tooth and nail for all of you. I'll fight tooth and nail for all of you to lead a full spiritual life, truly in service to God, and full of insight and love and devotion. It it obviously would have been much simpler if we had just one sort of philosophy, like Master Bankai had one main philosophy, which is to remain in the unborn. You see, like that. And I feel like open and empty is good enough to solve most of our day-to-day suffering type issues. You see, but is that truly a complete? Well, yes and no. Yes for the water, no for the drop. Keep going like this, keep identifying for yourself these areas of fear, you see, where if all the sages have guided us to live in the will of God, what makes us in denial of it? What happens? So let's take this example. Suppose we're really scared of looking stupid, and God says, go to that place, that auditorium close to your house, and make a presentation about Advaita Vedanta or something. So what will happen? Mostly the mind will say, no, God wouldn't actually want you to do that. Is it? So we will not face the thing head on. We will just deny that it ever happened. God knows me well. Why will He give me a project like that? Is it? So our mind will just come in there and make it all strange and unclear. But in our heart, we know what our weaknesses are, what vasanas we still have, what are we hiding. But we cannot hide anything from God. So to bring everything up in servitude to Him is much better than to be in denial of it. I heard the story of an investor in the stock market. So he did very well, and then he started to make losses. So what he did is he didn't update his own spreadsheet to show the losses. So he's just like, nothing has happened. Nothing. That's our ability to deny. So a lot of the resistance in the Sangha today is a healthy resistance where a lot of these things are coming to the surface and we are trying to frame it into, you see, but I can just be the self, but you aren't. You see, and how much more time will you take? I can just remain open and empty, but you're not. And the evidence of that is this one, who is complaining that I can just. Because if you're truly open and empty, then you would need this in your emptiness, no? And then your heart would guide you. So this is the trickiest, the subtlest egoic remnant which relies on the spirituality itself to keep itself alive, to know better. Right. Thank you, Macha. Okay, let's do that thing where we will allow participants to unmute themselves. Okay, come. Whoever wants to come, come. Come, come.
Hello, Father.
Okay, my dear. Let's start. Very good.
I don't know if I had any. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can see you now. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, should I raise my hand again?
No, it's fine. I've put you on the main.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I only felt called to raise the hand. I didn't have a question. So then I was trying to come up with a question, but I still felt to raise the hand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Where did the photos go? Oh, they're still there. There's some photos there. Oh, still there. Okay, okay.
Yeah, maybe because there's more sun now. It's
I see.
springtime now,
I
so
see.
you can't see it.
Good.
Thank you, Father, for deepening this love and just renewing our faith every time.
Very good, very good. Yes.
Mm.
And this faith is, the crux of it is, do we take the reality of God to be real, although the insight about God's reality is intuitive? That is faith. Do we give reality to that which is intuitive knowledge rather than worldly knowledge, perceptual knowledge, or concept? Is he here now? Is he here now? Huh? I'm asking everyone. Are we, like if Krishna walked into the room and sat on that couch, would we all be tepid like this? So then is this Krishna in your heart not a Krishna that can come and sit on the couch? Which is greater? Faith is to take your intuitive insight to be greater than waiting for a spiritual experience. That needs faith. Rationality is to take conceptual notions, weigh the pros and cons, make judgments on those. You see? But those who tasted true faith realize that faith is so much greater than rationality. Our rationality tells us be sensible, don't hand over everything to God, keep something for yourselves. But faith wants us to deliver our head on a platter to Him. Wants us to bet our existence on Him. Are we serving Him? Are we rejoicing in Him? Or are we doubting Him? Are we treating His existence like conceptual knowledge? Oh, we are in a galaxy called, what is it called? Milky Way, Alpha Centauri, what is it called? What is it? Huh? Milky Way. What is it? What difference does it make? Okay. Hoga. Huh? Most of us live, even though those who say we believe in God live like that. Where is the celebration if God is here? Where is the joy? Where is the love? Where is the service? So, with the simplicity of faith, all of this comes. Because you take His reality to be more than this. And that is what the fundamental of Vedanta compels us to do, isn't it? Don't take the perceived to be real. That which comes and goes is not real. So it is compelling us to be faithful, because if you don't take perceptions to be real, what else do we have? See, even in the Vedantins, how many meet Vedanta 101? They just deny it, no? They just say, okay, then what else is there? What kind of life should I live? What kind of things should I do? You see? Just in avoidance of the fundamental thing where it's saying that that which you perceive is not real, then how many even ask, then what is? Because that's not rational, it's faithful. And we are too scared to leave our rationality. So you mentioned faith, and all of this rambling on faith is coming. Because if we just even had faith, our life would change. We have a conceptual faith, we have very limited faith. But it's a rare one who lives truly betting their life on the faith that God is here. Is God here? Keep asking this question. Before you can determine other things about your life, ask, is God here? And is God
Father,
just...
I like.
Say, okay, say. I'll keep going, otherwise you keep going.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was just gonna say that I like. The other day, someone asked on the chat, "Is it true that?" Someone asked it. I don't know if it was on the chat, but someone asked, "Is it?" No, it was in the room. Is it true that if you call him, he will come?
Yes.
And you said yes. But will you take that as an answer and not take anything else that your mind has
Exactly.
as a suggestion?
Exactly.
And everything is in ignorance.
Yes. So just to recap that conversation for everyone, Sanjukta said, if I call him, will he come? And I said, yes, he will come. If you take that alone to be true. The minute you say, oh, but is it true? Is this really him? Does it work like that? Can it be this way? Then it's neither faith in Guru nor God. If I call him, will I see that he is here? Is another way to put the same question.
Yeah.
Do we realize the immensity of what is being said? That God is here. The immensity of the self within which God appears is your own self. Nirguna Brahman. Full of the false one, and that takes up all your space. This is the dining table with only one chair. If you sit on it, there's no room for anyone else. Who's sitting on your chair? That needs faith to give it to its rightful owner.
Father, I only pray for full devotion to God, so that it becomes a moment-to-moment spirituality, and not just when you inspire us directly, but that you live in our hearts always.
Right. Bless you. One child said, it's so difficult what you're saying now. But it's not. The way we are living now is more difficult. To be oppressed by the mind is much more difficult than to lead a God-directed, dictated life. So that which is our saving, we take that to be an oppression. So it's not difficult. To love the source of everything is the most natural thing. To be in servitude to the holiest of holies, what better privilege can we have? Somebody said to you, you are now the prime servant of the greatest master in this world. Will you not jump at that chance? We'll jump at that chance. But we have the opportunity to serve that which the masters are in service to.
Ananta-ji?
Yes.
Yes. I must say it is incredible how the resistance is seen and stays. Because it's so obvious that there is nothing else to do than what you suggest. And yet it is a childish resistance.
Yes.
Just like I prefer my piece of bread with my jam.
Yes.
It is so amazingly ridiculous and yet seen as just this childish resistance. It's incredible.
I love that metaphor. I love that metaphor because that's very close to what is being shared. It's just a childish resistance. I just want my bread this way with this marmalade. I don't want to. I see it. It's like this. Yes. Good one.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. It is amazing how we can face the same evidence that there is nothing before and beyond him.
Yes.
And yet we hold our small piece of bread because we know it.
Yes.
Because it is the jam we have always had, and
yes,
it's just amazing. I can't say more. I'm just so incredible.
very good, very good. I'm so happy to hear you. Very good, very good, very good. To notice this resistance and to see the absurdity of it and the tininess of it compared to the infinity of God is very important, because it's just a childish tantrum, the resistance. It is true that there are positions that the ego loves. It loves being the king of the world. It loves being the self. It loves being the highest, the absolute, any glorious things it loves. But the minute it comes to being a foolish beggar, there's not a natural affinity in the mind to like that, unless it is now convinced that the foolish beggar is the highest one. Once it is convinced that the foolish beggar is the highest one, it says, I want to be the foolish. But nobody wants to just accept that we are foolish. So we were discussing this, no? Atmika was saying that isn't there a danger in even the sinner or foolish beggar becoming a position that the ego can start to take pride in? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because, and that is the danger in any position. If it becomes the new highest aspiration, then that can become the trickster position. But if it is authentic, integrity, that we make ourselves worthy of scorn. At the beginning of the Screw Tape Letters, which is a beautiful book, and I would really recommend it for everyone, because for years I've been wanting to write like just tips on how to spot the mind. So I feel like it's already been written by C.S. Lewis. So it's just a series of tips on how to spot the mind's work, the ego's work. So it starts with the statement, or the preface starts with the statement that the ego hates being scorned at or laughed at. So the position of a laughable, foolish beggar is not naturally attractive to it unless over a period of time we ourselves make it attractive. So by then I'll change to something else. The name of the book is The Screw Tape Letters. The Screw Tape Letters?
I really feel that the ego can stay such a pretentious beggar for long. I mean, it can pretend for a while because it feels a great position. But
Maybe the worst piece of acting ever, no?
no, it can't last for too
yeah,
long.
that's what. So it'll just be like,
Probably
I'm a beggar. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a beggar.
not even that, maybe not being a beggar.
I just imagine the ego trying to, I'm such a good beggar. I'm the best beggar. or worst, whatever. And whatever it thinks it may help.
But when they really actually gain,
Well, that's also something subtle, actually.
yeah?
Because it may make a strong position about it. The way to the highest is through like this, through taking a position like this. It's all very tricky stuff. That's why noses have to become really sensitive. You all want to come? Okay. Can I hear Poonam first? I have not heard her before. Or did we speak last week?
Namaste, Bhajan.
Namaste.
Actually, I just wanted to expose something, though it is not coming from true place. Still, I wanted because I could see that the bargain mind also in exposing, like why I am trying to expose this. Like ego and pride is seen in like bigger and bigger, even in tiniest things, which actually I know ki I have not done. It's just came from grace only. Still, I wanted to claim and I wanted to take that credit. Yes, I did it. And though in my heart was continuously speaking, it has come from grace. You have not done anything. But still, I took it and I claimed it very beautifully. And then because in past, like I had the glimpses of the truth and everything, I knew that how beautiful it is. And right now I am not able to experience it again. Then this came in my mind because I am arrogant, I am pride, so it will not reveal it to me. Then I just thought, okay, now I am ready to expose it. Though I knew it was like a business mind, okay, fine, I am revealing, so now give it to me. It was like that. Still, I'm telling, but it is not coming from true place. I know this. It's just there is no genuine like exposing.
Very good, my child. To even notice that even my exposing is not really full of sincerity and genuineness is good. It touches my heart somewhere that it's coming to me that Guruji, my father, his father, when he met his father, Papaji, what was the pointing that Papaji gave to Guruji? Does anyone remember? So Guruji has written this very articulate, very nice letter, and it was beautiful, of course, and I find it beautiful anyway. But Papaji said something which really upset him for a moment, isn't it? As long as you have arrogance,
Yes, I remember.
as long as you have arrogance in you, there is nothing, right? So,
Yeah.
and then Guruji has said that then his mind started attacking, saying, you are not even my teacher, your students forced me to come here, and you're telling me I'm arrogant. All that, then vomiting had to happen, and then he just walked in a huff, and just something dropped, because that got caught, the pride in us got caught. So once it's caught and comes into our field of view, then it doesn't remain as a blind spot, it doesn't remain as a truth with us, as a belief.
Yeah.
So it's very important to notice the pride in us, and our spirituality, for those of us in spirituality, our spirituality has become our main area of pride. And you're right that when we are proud, then we don't leave space for God. We sit on the table ourselves, and we take the Advaitic notion of my reality being all there is. मैं हूँ मंजिल, मैं हूँ सफर भी. We apply that to an individual, which is not what the sage wanted it to be. This is just the opposite, in fact. So you're right to expose the one that becomes proud of insight, although that one had nothing to do with the insight. Nothing to do with the insight. So very good, very good.
When pride is coming with masters and God also.
Yes.
I'm fighting with them also. Okay, how you cannot listen to me?
Yeah.
Because I'm sincere, so you have to.
This pride can fight with everyone, with God also. Not just masters, it'll fight with God, it'll throw anger, fits, and tantrums with God also. But if you look at the difference in scale between God and this body, it's nothing at all. We can't even see a zillion times lesser or something. It's just nothing. It's a sheer nothingness. It's coming to say something strong, and I'll just say it's like it's better to have been born as a plant or something rather than have a life in which we turn to God with anger or pride. And the point, of course, is not to make any of you feel guilty or unworthy, but just to put a stop to this foolishness.
No, Father, unworthiness is also like as a part of pride. I am seeing because either I become a victim or the other side, pride. Yeah, I am superior.
Very well spotted. Very good.
Right now, I'm just ringing in these two. I'm not able to like drop that any position. But yes.
It's good. Allow this to burn. Allow this to burn out of you. And grace is very merciful. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very good. Your report touches my heart. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very good. I'm loving the simplicity towards which we are all moving, and we are starting to spot these things which seem very tiny in the overall scheme of things, but become the bottlenecks, the blind spots. Thank you. Very good. Okay, let's go to Adrian.
Thank you, Father.
Welcome, Adrian.
I see the potential in me for something to feel special, and now in satsang I feel it's quite okay, but I'm quite okay. But when I'm on my own, sometimes I notice this. For example, it was very beautiful, the satsang from last Wednesday, uh, this Wednesday, when you said that God knows every heartbeat that we've ever had and every breath, and it really touched me, and to realize the immensity of God and his all pervasiveness. And I don't know if it's so alive right now, but in Wednesday after satsang I did some things in my apartment, and somehow this strong mind attack came, mind storm, which was also mixed with a lot of insight, and also I felt that grace somehow picked me up, and it was like I started seeing things in my environment, like in synchronicity or something,
Yeah.
which kind of scared me and amazed me at the same time.
Yes.
And I felt like my body was the whole. I don't know if the whole universe, but I could identify myself with this body so much, and it was quite I don't know, weird in a way, but also beautiful.
Yeah.
and I realized how important humility is. Thank you for reminding us and telling us, guiding us for this. Uh,
Very good. Yes. Yes. You will have, I feel to say all of you will have these experiences where you realize the immensity and presence of God even in this waking world, that even Maya is just a construct of God's presence itself. You will see God everywhere, everywhere being made up of a substance called God, and you will not be able to find yourself in any separate way. If you stay true to the way of the heart, full blessing is there. Full blessing is there. And many of you are starting to get these glimpses, and you're absolutely right that here is when humility is most important. Because if you start to take it specially, stop here. So may you deepen in this insight in a way that you become more and more in service to Him. But may you experience the presence of God everywhere, inside, outside, whatever categories our intellect can make. Full blessings.
Thank you. Thank you. And maybe I can also share something which was quite important for many years, right? This restlessness in the body, like inability to stay still, to keep my body still. And this restlessness, somehow I found a way to manage it by swaying my body or rocking my body. And I felt that it was quite meditative and quite kept me in the middle of between going with my restlessness and desires, and and the opposite, which would be like self mortification or something, like suppressing everything.
Yeah.
And I feel it's getting less and less, this restlessness, but it also caused some issues in my life, and um, this I don't know what to call it, like tendency or uh, usually I it's good for it has been good for me to live on my own, and yeah, this restlessness is also from the mind, no? It's like somehow in a uh, inability to be where I am. to
Yes, full love, full blessings, and just trust God's grace that. And remember another thing I said the other day, which was that God is not just able to fix our future, but He can also fix our past.
yes,
And fix our past in such a way that there's so many things that get healed in His life that we don't even remember, or they don't remain in our memory, because that would be too strange in the human condition to realize that even the past can change. So just trust God with everything.
I remember in one satsang some years ago, I heard you say, because you said that, I think, actually, I don't know if exactly like this, but you said something like you will become, you said to us, to the Sangha, that you will become so open that you won't know what is past and what is future,
Yes.
which is past and which is future.
Yes. I have to say that I know the labels, but can we really determine which one is past and which one is future? I can't.
You also sometimes said that also these concepts of up and down, left and right, are also some kind of labels.
Exactly.
It's quite strange in the human condition to realize something like that. Like,
Yeah. Yes. We have to make a very limited reference point about ourselves once we give credence to the notions of up and down and yesterday and tomorrow.
thank you, and please, I pray that I choose humility and uh, not feeling, I don't know, special or separate, or uh, because I can see what you say, that it can cause a lot of problems, or a lot of like this remaining drop that takes itself to be special. Also, it has helped me very much pray to pray not only for myself, but for the world and for everyone that I know or not know, to pray and um, somehow I also feel that it has an effect. It has um, it, it I don't know if it's true or not.
Very good. It's very auspicious to pray. It's very auspicious. True prayer is to have true faith, where we're no longer taking God to be just an idea and a prayer to be a mechanism for wish fulfillment, but we're taking the reality of His presence to be here, and therefore a communication and leading to a communion with His presence possible. If He's really here, what stops us from relying on Him for everything, and to bow down to Him and pray to Him instead of wasting time in fruitless worrying? Very happy to hear your report.
Sometimes prayer, sometimes I feel like God already knows what He has to do, and it's not needed for me to pray, or sometimes I pray that only if it's your will, or it's it,
Yeah. But then
but it's true. Yeah.
if we truly took that to be reality, then we would never worry.
Yeah, I notice even now these days I have quite some difficult practical issues, and
We
I
worry.
just
We try to problem solve ourselves. We try to resolve things. And most of them are just imaginary, non-existent problems. So that is why with integrity, instead of taking control and charge and driving things ourselves and saying, how can I fix this and what can I do? If you go like a little child to God and say, I have to honestly tell you that I am concerned about this. So please, can you help me? Can you take care of this, please? It's very, very much better than to make ourselves into somebody.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Samia.
Hello, Father. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Your conversation with Adrian was really touching for me, and it just made me clear also, because I didn't know what to bring to you. But first of all, I just want to thank God. Yes, just from the bottom of my heart. Because I'm just reaping the fruit of all the prayers that I pray for years and years, and finally just all bear the fruit. And for this, I'm just all a big thank and gratitude.
Very good.
I don't know if I feel to bring more than this right now, but just the gratitude and what you said to Adrian just now, like God has the power to change the past. I also heard this from you from years back, and it really touched me a lot. And I'm just asking whatever needs to change here, because still there are things like still I carry something in my body, not in my mind anymore, not in my experience, but maybe there are also, but I don't even need to know them. Maybe I just want to give them to God. He knows what to do.
Very good.
You know, Father, to go to Rumi's place, I was just going there so frequently, and it's such a powerful place. As soon as I went there, just too much burning, and I was resisting to go because of that reason, actually. And for some time I didn't go, and I was not allowed to go somehow, but I just came back, and all the prayer that I made there just bear the fruits, and yeah, I just want to thank him. Thank you. Just thank to God and all the godly beings, everyone. Just thank you so much.
Very good, very good, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being with me always. I love you so much.
Love you too. Love you so much. Thank you. Can I request the rest who have their hands up that we continue this later? I feel like we've had 3 satsangs or something. Also, I don't know if all of you know, but 16th October to 26th October, I will be traveling to meet my son in America. So most likely we won't have satsang during those days. I hope none of you are planning to be in Bangalore during that time. I love you all so very much, and I bless you from the depth of my heart with all His love, all His light, all His grace. Thank you all so much for being in satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Guru Kripa Kevalam.